Hello, and welcome to the Sleepy Science Channel. Tonight, we'll embark on a tranquil journey beneath the waves, exploring 100 mind-blowing facts about the ocean. A vast, mysterious world that covers more than 70% of our planet. From ancient shipwrecks resting on the ocean floor to creatures that glow in the dark and underwater mountains taller than mountains on land, the ocean holds wonders both beautiful and surprising. So lie back, breathe slowly, and let your mind drift like the gentle tides as we uncover the secrets of Earth's largest habitat. Whether you're here to relax, learn, or simply fall asleep, these calming stories and fascinating truths will guide you into a peaceful night. Let's begin. There are more historical artifacts underwater than on land. When you think of history, ancient ruins and artifacts usually come to mind on land. However, the ocean holds far more historical treasures beneath its surface than all the land combined. Over thousands of years, countless ships have sunk, ports have been submerged, and entire cities have been lost to rising seas. These underwater sites preserve artifacts in remarkable condition because the low oxygen and stable temperatures prevent decay. Examples include sunken Roman cargo ships and the submerged city of Pavlopetri in Greece, which is one of the oldest known underwater cities. Modern technology such as sonar mapping and underwater robots is now helping archaeologists uncover these hidden time capsules, revealing vast chapters of human history that have remained concealed for Tanbray, centuries beneath the waves. Some jellyfish can live forever through biological immortality. Unlike most creatures that age and eventually die, certain species of jellyfish can avoid death entirely through a remarkable process known as biological immortality. The most famous example is Turritopsis doenyi, often called the immortal jellyfish. When faced with injury, stress, or aging, this jellyfish can transform its cells back to an earlier stage of development, essentially resetting its life cycle. This process, called transdifferentiation, allows the jellyfish to revert to a polypod juvenile form before growing back into adulthood. Because this cycle can repeat indefinitely, these jellyfish have the potential to live forever unless killed by disease or predators. This ability challenges our understanding of aging and has intrigued scientists exploring the mechanisms of cellular regeneration. Some fish can change their gender as they mature in many fish species. Individuals have the remarkable ability to change their gender during their lifetime. This phenomenon, known as sequential hermaphroditism, allows a fish to switch from male to female or vice versa, depending on environmental or social cues. For example, clownfish are born male and can become female if the dominant female in their group dies. In contrast, some wrasses start life as females and later change into males. This ability ensures reproductive flexibility and helps maintain population balance. It also highlights the incredible adaptability of marine life to shifting conditions in their environment. The biggest mountain ranges in the world are underwater beneath the waves. Lies an underwater world shaped by vast mountain ranges that stretch far beyond any found on land. The mid-ocean ridges, for example, form a continuous chain that circles the globe and is over 65,000 kilometers long, much longer than the Andes or the Himalayas. These underwater mountains are sites of tectonic activity where new oceanic crust forms as plates pull apart. They influence ocean currents, marine habitats, and even global geology, serving as a reminder of the dynamic forces shaping our planet. Some marine algae can grow over 1 meter per day. Certain species of marine algae, particularly giant kelp, can grow astonishingly fast, sometimes exceeding 1 meter in a single day. This rapid growth allows kelp forests to develop dense underwater habitats, that support thousands of marine species. The towering kelp stalks provide shelter, food, and nursery grounds for fish, invertebrates, and mammals. These forests also play a significant role in carbon absorption, making them important contributors to marine ecosystem health and climate regulation. The ocean contains more gold than all the gold mines on land. It may sound unbelievable, but the world's oceans hold about 20 million tons of dissolved gold, which is more than all the gold ever mined on land. Throughout history, this gold is spread extremely thinly throughout sea water, just a few parts per trillion, making it invisible to the naked eye and currently impossible to extract economically. The gold enters the oceans through rivers, underwater volcanic activity, and hydrothermal vents, continuously cycling through marine systems. Occasionally, gold concentrates near certain underwater mineral deposits, sparking interest in future mining prospects as technology advances. For now, this vast sea of gold remains a silent and hidden treasure, reminding us of the ocean's immense and largely untapped wealth. The deepest part of the ocean is deeper than Mount Everest is tall. The Mariana Trench, located in the western Pacific Ocean, is the deepest known point in the world's oceans. Its lowest area, known as the Challenger Deep, plunges nearly 11 kilometers below sea level. To put this in perspective, Mount Everest, the tallest mountain on land, rises about 8.8 kilometers above sea level. If Everest were placed at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, its peak would still be more than a kilometer underwater. The extreme pressure at this depth exceeds 1,000 times the pressure at the surface, creating a hostile environment where only specially adapted organisms can survive. Despite its remoteness and harsh conditions, expeditions have discovered unique life forms thriving in this abyssal realm, challenging what we know about life's resilience. More than 80% of the ocean is still unexplored. Even though the ocean covers more than 70% of Earth's surface, scientists estimate that over 80% of it remains unexplored and unmapped. This vast unexplored territory includes deep trenches, underwater mountain ranges, and abyssal plains that remain mysterious and poorly understood. Advances in technology like remotely operated vehicles, autonomous underwater drones, and sophisticated sonar mapping have begun to peel back the ocean's secrets, revealing new species and geological features regularly. The ocean remains one of the planet's last great frontiers, holding countless unknowns that may reshape our understanding of biology, geology, and climate in the years to come. Sea otters use rocks as tools to open shellfish. Sea otters are among the few animals that use tools in the wild, and their favorite tool is a simple rock. These clever mammals dive to the sea floor to collect shellfish like clams, sea urchins, and mussels. To crack open these hard shells, they bring a rock with them, or use a rock on the ocean floor as an anvil. By smashing or pounding their prey against the rock, sea otters can access the nutritious flesh inside. This tool use requires skill and learning, often passed down from mother to pup, demonstrating surprising intelligence and culture in these marine mammals. More species live in the ocean than on land. The ocean is the most biologically diverse habitat on Earth, with scientists estimating that it hosts millions more species than those found on land. From microscopic plankton to giant whales, the ocean's biodiversity spans countless ecosystems, including coral reefs, kelp forests, deep-sea vents, and polar ice edges. Many marine species remain undiscovered, especially in the deep sea and remote areas, making the ocean a vast and largely unexplored treasure trove of life. This richness supports complex food webs and plays a crucial role in global ecological balance. The ocean's coral reefs are some of the most diverse ecosystems on Earth. Coral reefs cover less than 1% of the ocean floor, but support about 25% of all marine species, earning them the bell. Nickname rainforests of the sea. These vibrant ecosystems are built by tiny coral polyps that create calcium carbonate skeletons, forming complex structures that provide food, shelter, and breeding grounds for cowpers fish, invertebrates, and algae. Coral reefs are crucial for maintaining marine biodiversity and protecting coastlines from erosion and storms. However, they are highly sensitive to environmental stresses such as rising temperatures and ocean acidification, making their conservation a global priority. Underwater volcanoes create new land and influence ocean chemistry. The ocean floor is dotted with thousands of underwater volcanoes, many found along the boundaries of tectonic plates. These submarine volcanoes continuously erupt, spewing molten lava that cools quickly to form new crust. Over time, these eruptions build underwater mountains and islands, reshaping the ocean landscape. Besides creating land, volcanic activity releases minerals and gases into the water, which influence ocean chemistry and support unique ecosystems. Hydrothermal vents near these volcanoes host remarkable life forms that rely on chemicals from the Earth's interior rather than sunlight, revealing a hidden world of life thriving in extreme conditions. The ocean's thermohaline circulation acts like a global conveyor belt. Thermohaline circulation is a vast, slow-moving ocean current system driven by differences in water temperature and salt content. Warm, salty surface water flows from the tropics toward the poles, where it cools, becomes denser, and sinks deep into the ocean. This cold water then travels along the ocean floor back toward the equator in a global loop often called the conveyor belt. This circulation helps distribute heat and nutrients around the planet, playing a vital role in regulating climate and supporting marine ecosystems. Changes or disruptions to this system could have significant impacts on global weather and ocean health. Some deep-sea creatures can generate their own light in the dark depths of the ocean where sunlight never reaches. Many creatures have developed the ability to produce their own light through a process called bioluminescence. This natural glow is created by chemical reactions inside the organism's bodies and serves various purposes, such as attracting prey, communicating, or camouflaging. For example, the anglerfish uses a glowing lure to draw in unsuspecting prey, while certain squid and jellyfish use light to confuse predators. Bioluminescence is widespread in the deep sea and is one of the ocean's most fascinating adaptations to extreme darkness. The ocean is home to animals bigger than dinosaurs. The blue whale is the largest animal known to have ever existed on Earth. These gentle giants can grow up to 30 meters in length, perhaps about 100 feet, and weigh as much as 200 tons, which is roughly the weight of 33 elephants. Despite their massive size, blue whales feed almost exclusively on tiny shrimp-like creatures called krill, consuming up to 4 tons a day during feeding seasons. Their enormous hearts are the size of small cars, and their calls can be heard over vast distances underwater. Blue whales are a majestic reminder of the ocean's vastness and the extraordinary scale of life it supports. The ocean's salinity varies across different regions. Ocean water isn't equally salty everywhere. Salinity, the concentration of dissolved salts, changes depending on location, temperature, evaporation, and freshwater input. For instance, the Red Sea is one of the saltiest bodies of water due to high evaporation and low rainfall, while the Baltic Sea has lower salinity because it receives large amounts of river water. These differences in saltiness affect water density, currents, and marine life distribution. Salinity also plays a crucial role in regulating ocean circulation and climate patterns worldwide. Some coral reefs are over 10,000 years old. Coral reefs are among the oldest living structures on Earth, with some reefs continuously growing for more than 10,000 years. These ancient reefs have survived massive changes in sea levels, climate, and ocean chemistry. They form the backbone of vibrant ecosystems that support a quarter of all marine species. The longevity and complexity of these reefs make them vital for biodiversity, fisheries, and coastal protection. However, modern threats like warming waters and pollution put these ancient ecosystems at serious risk, highlighting the importance of conservation efforts. The ocean is home to the largest living structure on Earth. The Great Barrier Reef, stretching over 300 kilometers off the coast of Australia, is the largest living structure on the planet. Built by billions of tiny coral polyps over thousands of years, this reef system supports a staggering variety of life, including thousands of species of fish, corals, and marine mammals. Its vast size is so impressive that it is visible from space. The reef not only provides crucial habitat for marine life, but also protects coastlines from erosion and supports tourism and fisheries. Despite its importance, the reef faces serious threats from climate change, coral bleaching, and pollution, making its protection a global priority. The deep sea is the largest habitat on Earth by volume, while the ocean surface covers most of Earth. The deep sea areas below 200 meters deep makes up the largest habitat on Earth by volume. It spans more than half the planet's surface and contains over 90% of the ocean's water. This dark, cold, high-pressure environment is home to countless unique creatures adapted to extreme conditions. Despite its vastness, the deep sea remains one of the least explored places on Earth, with many species still unknown to science. Understanding this habitat is essential to uncovering the full diversity of life on our planet. The ocean's dead zones are areas with very low oxygen dead zones, are regions in the ocean where oxygen levels have dropped so low that most marine life cannot survive. These hypoxic areas are often caused by nutrient pollution from rivers and agricultural runoff, which fuel algae blooms. When the algae die and decompose, oxygen in the water is depleted, creating inhospitable conditions. Dead zones can devastate local fisheries and disrupt ecosystems. They have been increasing in number and size worldwide, posing a significant challenge to ocean health and human communities that rely on fishing. Hydrothermal vents support unique ecosystems powered by chemicals instead of sunlight. Hydrothermal vents are underwater geysers found near volcanic activity on the ocean floor. These vents release mineral-rich, superheated water that supports extraordinary ecosystems without sunlight. Instead of photosynthesis, organisms near vents rely on chemosynthesis, where bacteria convert chemicals like hydrogen sulfide into energy. These bacteria form the base of the food chain, supporting tube worms, giant clams, and strange fish adapted to these harsh environments. Hydrothermal vent ecosystems challenge traditional ideas about the conditions necessary for life. The sperm whale has the largest brain of any animal among all animals. The sperm whale boasts the largest brain by mass, weighing about 7 kilograms, 15 pounds. This massive brain supports complex behaviors such as deep diving, sophisticated vocal communication, and social structures. Sperm whales can dive over 2,000 meters deep to hunt squid, using echolocation to navigate and locate prey in the dark ocean depths. Their intelligence and complex societies make them fascinating subjects for studying marine mammal cognition and the evolution of large brains. Ocean waves can travel thousands of miles across the sea without losing energy. Ocean waves, created by wind blowing across the water's surface, can travel vast distances, sometimes thousands of miles, without losing much energy. These waves carry the power of storms far from their origin, reaching distant shores and shaping coastlines. Swell waves from Pacific storms can be felt as far away as Hawaii or the coasts of California, demonstrating the incredible reach of ocean energy. This long-distance wave travel influences marine navigation, surfing conditions, and even the distribution of nutrients in coastal waters. The ocean absorbs around 30% of human-produced carbon dioxide. The ocean acts as a major carbon sink by absorbing approximately 30% of the carbon dioxide emitted by human diet. Activities like burning fossil fuels. This absorption helps slow global warming, but leads to chemical changes in seawater, a process called ocean acidification. Acidification can harm marine life, particularly organisms that build shells or skeletons from calcium carbonate, such as corals and shellfish. Scientists are studying how ongoing carbon uptake affects ocean ecosystems and what it means for the planet's climate future. The ocean holds nearly 20 times more carbon than the atmosphere the ocean stores, an astonishing amount of carbon, about 20 times more than what is found in Earth's atmosphere. This vast reservoir plays a critical role in regulating the global climate. Marine plants like phytoplankton absorb carbon dioxide through photosynthesis, and when these organisms die, their carbon-rich bodies sink to the seafloor, trapping carbon for centuries or longer. This storage mechanism helps balance carbon levels, but is also affected by environmental changes that can impact ocean health and climate regulation. The ocean's phytoplankton population experiences seasonal blooms visible from space. Phytoplankton populations in the ocean undergo dramatic seasonal blooms that are so extensive they can be seen from Barai. Space. These tiny marine plants multiply rapidly when conditions such as sunlight and nutrient availability are optimal. Blooms fuel the marine food web, supporting fish, whales, and other sea life. However, some blooms can become harmful, producing toxins that affect marine animals and humans. Satellites monitor these patterns to track ocean health and ecosystem changes on a global scale. Mangrove forests protect coastlines and are crucial carbon sinks. Mangrove forests grow along tropical coastlines and provide critical protection against erosion, storm surges, and rising sea levels. Their complex root systems stabilize sediments and reduce the impact of waves during storms. Mangroves also act as powerful carbon sinks, storing large amounts of carbon in their wood and soil, often much more than terrestrial forests per area. These ecosystems support rich biodiversity, including fish nurseries and bird habitats, making them essential for coastal health and climate mitigation. The ocean's deep trenches are some of the least explored places on Earth. The deep trenches of the ocean, such as the Mariana Trench and Tonga Trench, represent some of the most mysterious and least explored environments on Earth. These narrow, deep valleys plunge thousands of meters below the surface and remain largely inaccessible due to their extreme pressure and darkness. Despite harsh conditions, scientists have discovered unique creatures adapted to this environment. Exploring these trenches helps us understand life's limits and Earth's geology, but much remains unknown about these underwater abysses. The blob is a massive patch of warmer water affecting Pacific Ocean weather patterns. The blob is an enormous area of unusually warm water that appeared in the Pacific Ocean in recent years. This warm patch stretches over hundreds of miles and can disrupt marine ecosystems by altering currents and affecting sea life behavior. It has been linked to unusual weather patterns on the west coast of North America, including droughts and changes in fish migration. The blob highlights how variations in ocean temperature can have wide-reaching impacts on climate and ecosystems. The ocean can generate energy through tidal power and wave energy. The ocean is a vast source of renewable energy, with tides and waves offering promising ways to generate electricity. Tidal power harnesses the predictable rise and fall of ocean tides caused by the moon's gravity, using underwater turbines to convert this motion into energy. Wave energy captures the up and down movement of the sea surface to power generators. These technologies have the potential to provide clean energy to coastal communities while reducing reliance on fossil fuels, though challenges remain in scaling and environmental impact. Bioluminescent algae cause the phenomenon called sea sparkle. Sea sparkle is a magical phenomenon caused by bioluminescent algae, tiny marine organisms that emit light when disturbed. At night, waves or movement in the water can trigger these algae to glow with a soft blue-green light, creating sparkling effects along shorelines. This natural light show not only captivates observers, but also serves ecological functions, such as deterring predators or attracting mates. Sea sparkle can be seen in coastal waters around the world, offering a glimpse into the ocean's glowing life. The ocean's microplastics are widespread and impact marine life at all levels. Microplastics, tiny plastic particles less than 5 millimeters in size, are now found throughout the ocean, from surface waters to deep sea sediments. These particles come from sources like broken down plastic waste, synthetic clothing fibers, and personal care products. Microplastics can be ingested by marine animals of all sizes, from plankton to whales, causing physical harm and introducing toxins into food webs. The widespread presence of microplastics poses a growing threat to ocean health and the safety of seafood consumed by humans. The ocean produces over half of the world's oxygen. Although forests often get credit for producing oxygen, the ocean actually generates more than half of the oxygen we breathe. This vital role is mainly carried out by microscopic plants called phytoplankton. These tiny organisms use sunlight to convert carbon dioxide into oxygen through photosynthesis. Despite their small size, phytoplankton are incredibly abundant, forming the foundation of the marine food web and supporting life on Earth. Without their constant production of oxygen, the planet's atmosphere and ecosystems would be very different. The ocean's currents regulate global climate. Ocean currents act like massive conveyor belts, moving heat and nutrients around the world's seas. These currents help balance the climate by transporting warm water from the equator toward the poles and cold water back toward the tropics. For example, the Gulf Stream carries warm Caribbean waters across the Atlantic to Western Europe, keeping its climate milder than other regions at similar latitudes. Changes in these currents can influence weather patterns worldwide, sometimes causing extreme events like droughts or cold snaps. The ocean has its own weather systems, like underwater tornadoes called vortices, just like the atmosphere. The ocean experiences dynamic weather systems beneath its surface. One fascinating phenomenon is underwater tornadoes called vortices. These swirling masses of water form when currents collide or flow around obstacles, creating powerful, spinning water columns that can stretch for miles. Vortices influence marine life by mixing nutrients, redistributing heat, and shaping habitats. They play a significant role in ocean circulation and the distribution of organisms, making the underwater world as lively and complex as the sky above. The ocean's abyssal plains are some of the flattest places on Earth, far beneath the waves. The ocean floor features vast, flat regions known as abyssal plains. These areas can extend for thousands of square kilometers and are among the flattest surfaces on the planet. Formed by the gradual settling of fine sediments over millions of years, abyssal plains lie at depths between 3,000 and 6,000 meters. Despite the darkness and extreme pressure, these plains support diverse communities of animals adapted to life in this remote environment. Abyssal plains play a crucial role in Earth's geology and ocean ecosystems. The ocean's ice sheets affect global sea levels and ocean currents. The massive ice sheets covering parts of Antarctica and Greenland hold enough frozen water to significantly influence global sea levels. When these ice sheets melt or grow, they cause sea levels to rise or fall, impacting coastal regions worldwide. In addition, fresh water from melting ice can affect ocean currents by altering the salinity and density of seawater. These changes can disrupt climate systems, marine ecosystems, and weather patterns, highlighting the interconnectedness of polar ice and the ocean's health. Some sharks can detect electrical fields produced by other animals. Certain species of sharks have a remarkable ability to sense the faint electrical fields generated by the muscle movements of other animals. This sense, called electroreception, allows sharks to locate prey hidden beneath sand or murky water, even when visibility is poor. Special organs called the ampullae of Lorenzini pick up these tiny electrical signals, giving sharks an edge in hunting. This ability makes sharks some of the most efficient predators in the ocean and demonstrates how animals have evolved specialized senses for survival. The ocean's mesopelagic zone is known as the twilight zone. Due to low light between about 201,000 meters deep lies the ocean's mesopelagic zone, often called the twilight zone. Sunlight here is very faint, not enough for photosynthesis, but still enough to create dim, eerie lighting. Many creatures in this zone have large eyes adapted to the low light, and some produce their own light through bioluminescence to communicate, hunt, or camouflage themselves. This zone serves as an important transition between the sunlit surface and the dark, deep sea, supporting unique ecosystems adapted to limited light. Coral spawning often happens simultaneously across entire reefs once a year. Many coral species coordinate a spectacular event called coral spawning. During this time, corals release their eggs and sperm simultaneously into the water, often synchronized by lunar cycles and water temperature. This mass spawning increases the chances of successful fertilization and creates a vibrant cloud of reproductive material visible from boats or satellites. This natural event is essential for coral reproduction and reef regeneration, ensuring the survival of these diverse and fragile ecosystems. The ocean's kelp forests provide habitat for thousands of species. Kelp forests are dense underwater areas filled with large seaweed called kelp. These forests create complex three-dimensional habitats that provide shelter, food, and breeding grounds for thousands of marine species, from tiny invertebrates to large fish and sea mammals. Kelp forests also help protect coastlines by reducing wave energy. They grow rapidly in nutrient-rich, cold waters and play an important role in carbon sequestration, making them vital both ecologically and environmentally. Some squid can use jet propulsion to escape predators at high speeds. Certain squid species have developed a powerful escape mechanism called jet propulsion. By rapidly drawing water into their mantle cavity and forcefully expelling it through a funnel, squid can shoot backward at remarkable speeds. This sudden burst of movement allows them to evade predators quickly and efficiently. Jet propulsion is a key survival strategy for squid in the open ocean, combining speed with agility to escape threats in their environment. The ocean's salt is primarily derived from volcanic activity, and rock weathering, the saltiness of ocean water, mainly comes from minerals washed into the sea over millions of years. Two primary sources contribute. Volcanic activity releases gases and minerals into the atmosphere and oceans, while weathering of rocks on land dissolves minerals that rivers carry to the sea. These dissolved salts accumulate in ocean basins because water evaporates but leaves the minerals behind. The most common salt is sodium chloride, which gives seawater its characteristic salty taste. This process has been ongoing for billions of years, maintaining the ocean's salinity at levels vital for marine life. Many marine animals use the Earth's magnetic field for navigation. Several marine species have the remarkable ability to sense Earth's magnetic field, helping them navigate vast ocean distances with precision. Sea turtles, salmon, whales, and some fish can detect magnetic cues to find breeding grounds, feeding areas, or migration routes. This natural magnetic compass allows them to travel thousands of kilometers across open water, often returning to the exact locations where they were born. Scientists are still studying how these animals detect magnetic fields, but it's clear that magnetoception plays a crucial role in their survival and reproduction. Some sea stars can regenerate entire bodies from a single arm. Sea stars possess incredible regenerative powers. If a sea star loses an arm due to injury or predation, it can regrow the lost limb. Remarkably, some species can regenerate an entire new body from just a single arm and part of the central disc, as long as vital tissue is present. This ability allows sea stars to survive attacks and maintain their populations. Regeneration involves complex cellular processes that rebuild muscles, nerves, and skeleton, making sea stars a fascinating subject for biological research on healing and regeneration. The ocean's plastic pollution can enter the food chain through tiny organisms. Plastic pollution in the ocean breaks down into tiny particles called microplastics, which are easily ingested by small organisms like plankton and filter feeders. These tiny creatures form the base of the ocean food chain, so when they consume microplastics, the pollutants begin moving up the food web. Fish, shellfish, and even larger predators can accumulate plastics through their diets, potentially impacting health and survival. This contamination raises concerns about ocean ecosystem health and the safety of seafood for human consumption, highlighting the urgent need to reduce plastic waste. Ocean acidification threatens shell-building creatures like clams and crabs. As the ocean absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, its chemistry changes, becoming more acidic. This acidification makes it harder for marine animals such as clams, crabs, oysters, and corals to build and maintain their calcium carbonate shells and skeletons. Acidic waters dissolve the minerals these creatures rely on, weakening shells and slowing growth. This poses serious risks to marine ecosystems and fisheries that depend on shell-building species. Scientists are closely monitoring ocean chemistry changes to understand and mitigate the long-term impacts of acidification. The ocean's surface layer is only a few meters thick, but crucial for life. The very top layer of the ocean, known as the surface mixed layer, is surprisingly thin, usually just a few meters deep, but it plays a vital role in supporting life. This layer absorbs sunlight, enabling photosynthesis by phytoplankton, which forms the foundation of the marine food web. It also acts as the main interface between the ocean and atmosphere, regulating gas exchanges like oxygen and carbon dioxide. Despite its thinness, this layer influences weather, climate, and the health of marine ecosystems worldwide, making it a critical zone for life in the ocean. Many marine mammals use complex vocalizations for communication. Marine mammals such as whales, dolphins, and seals communicate using sophisticated vocal sounds, including songs, clicks, whistles, and calls. These vocalizations can convey information about identity, location, mating readiness, and social bonds. Some whale species produce haunting songs that can travel hundreds of miles underwater, allowing communication across vast distances. Researchers study these sounds to understand social structures and behaviors, as well as the impacts of noise pollution on marine mammal communication. The ocean contains underwater lakes and rivers with different chemistry. Beneath the ocean's surface, there exist unusual features known as underwater lakes and rivers. These are pools of water with different chemical compositions, often saltier or denser, trapped in depressions on the sea floor. Due to their higher density, these lakes and rivers do not mix easily with surrounding seawater and can flow along the ocean floor, creating unique habitats. Scientists have discovered such brine pools with extremely high salinity, hosting specialized organisms adapted to these harsh conditions, expanding our understanding of ocean diversity. The ocean's salt content has remained stable for millions of years despite continual input of minerals from rivers and volcanic activity. The overall salt content of the ocean has remained remarkably stable over millions of years. This balance results from complex natural processes that remove salts, including the formation of mineral deposits and the activities of marine organisms that use salts in their shells and skeletons. This long-term stability and salinity is crucial for maintaining marine life adapted to specific salt concentrations, and it helps regulate ocean currents and climate patterns. Some fish can see ultraviolet light invisible to humans. Certain fish species have evolved the ability to perceive ultraviolet UV light, which is invisible to the human eye. This enhanced vision helps them detect prey, predators, and mates in ways that humans cannot. UV vision can improve contrast in water, especially in shallow sunlit areas, and may be used for communication through UV-reflective markings on their bodies. This sensory adaptation provides these fish with an ecological advantage, illustrating the remarkable diversity of visual capabilities in the ocean. Whale songs can travel thousands of kilometers. Underwater whales produce complex songs and calls that can travel extraordinary distances through the ocean's depths. These sounds can carry thousands of kilometers, allowing whales to communicate across entire ocean basins. The songs serve various purposes, from mating calls to social bonding and navigation. The efficiency of sound transmission underwater enables these massive mammals to maintain contact in an environment where visibility is limited. Scientists study whale vocalizations to learn about their behaviors and populations, helping protect these majestic creatures. Ocean currents can influence the spread of pollutants and marine debris. Ocean currents act like giant conveyor belts that transport not only heat and nutrients, but also pollutants and debris. Plastics, chemicals, and other waste materials can travel thousands of kilometers, carried by surface currents into remote areas like the middle of the Pacific Ocean, where they accumulate in massive garbage patches. These currents can spread pollutants across international boundaries, making ocean pollution a global issue. Understanding currents helps scientists predict the movement of contaminants and develop strategies for mitigation. The ocean's largest predators, like great white sharks, have slow reproduction rates. Many of the ocean's top predators, including great white sharks, have surprisingly slow reproduction rates. These species often mature late, sometimes taking over a decade to reach adulthood, and produce relatively few offspring compared to other fish. This slow life cycle makes them vulnerable to overfishing and environmental changes, as populations take a long time to recover. Conservation efforts are crucial to protect these apex predators, which play vital roles in maintaining the balance of marine ecosystems. Sea cucumbers play a vital role in recycling nutrients on the ocean floor. Sea cucumbers may look simple and slow, but they play a crucial role in keeping the ocean floor healthy. These soft-bodied animals crawl along the seabed, feeding on detritus, dead plant and animal material, and tiny organic particles in the sediment. As they consume this material, sea cucumbers break it down and excrete nutrient-rich waste that enriches the ocean floor. This recycling process helps maintain the balance of nutrients that support the growth of bacteria, algae, and other tiny organisms, which in turn sustain larger marine animals. In many ocean habitats, sea cucumbers are considered ecosystem engineers because their activity helps oxygenate the sediment and prevent the buildup of harmful substances. Without them, the delicate web of ocean life on the seafloor could collapse. The ocean's deadliest creatures often use venom or toxins for defense. Some of the most dangerous animals in the ocean don't rely on speed or size, but on powerful venoms and toxins to protect themselves or catch prey. Take the boxed jellyfish, for example. Its venom is among the deadliest in the world, capable of causing heart failure in humans within minutes. The stonefish, often camouflaged against the ocean floor, delivers venom through sharp spines that can cause severe pain or even death. Comb snails, which might look harmless, use a venomous harpoon to stun prey instantly. These creatures evolved their poisons over millions of years, developing complex chemicals that target nervous systems. While terrifying, scientists study these toxins carefully, as they hold potential for creating new medicines, including painkillers and treatments for heart disease and cancer. It's a reminder that even the ocean's deadliest creatures can inspire life-saving discoveries. Some marine plants can survive in extreme salinity conditions. Not all ocean plants grow in gentle saltwater conditions. Some species have adapted to survive in places where salt levels are extremely high, far beyond what most life can tolerate. In salt marshes and coastal lagoons where evaporation leaves water highly saline, certain marine plants and algae have evolved specialized mechanisms to cope. These adaptations include cells that expel excess salt or store it safely to avoid damage. For example, mangrove trees have complex root systems that filter salt from seawater, allowing them to thrive in salty environments while protecting coastlines from erosion and storms. These salt-tolerant plants are critical for maintaining coastal ecosystems, providing habitat for fish and birds and storing large amounts of carbon, which helps combat climate change. Their resilience shows how life can flourish even in harsh conditions. The ocean's surface temperature has risen significantly over the past century. Over the last century, human activities like burning fossil fuels and deforestation have increased greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, causing global temperatures to rise. The ocean's surface temperature has also warmed significantly, with important consequences for marine life and global climate. Warmer waters can disrupt delicate ecosystems, especially coral reefs, which bleach and die when temperatures exceed their tolerance. Fish and other animals may migrate toward cooler waters, altering food webs and fishing grounds. Additionally, warmer oceans can intensify storms and hurricanes, affecting weather patterns worldwide. Scientists track ocean temperature carefully because even small changes can ripple through marine and terrestrial ecosystems, influencing sea levels, biodiversity, and the health of the planet. Oceanic white-tip sharks are among the most aggressive species to humans. Oceanic white-tip sharks are large, powerful predators found throughout tropical and subtropical oceans. They are recognized by the distinctive white tips on their fins and their curious, sometimes bold behavior around humans. These sharks have been implicated in multiple incidents involving shipwreck survivors and divers, where their investigative nature and persistence can escalate to aggression. Unlike some sharks that avoid human contact, oceanic whitetips are often more willing to approach and explore unfamiliar objects or people, which can be dangerous. Despite this reputation, they play an important ecological role as apex predators, helping to maintain healthy ocean food chains by controlling populations of other marine animals. Unfortunately, oceanic white-tip sharks are now considered vulnerable due to overfishing and habitat loss, underscoring the need for conservation. The ocean's microscopic viruses are the most abundant biological entities on Earth. Invisible to the naked eye, viruses in the ocean exist in numbers so vast they outnumber all other biological entities. Combined, these microscopic viruses play a critical role in ocean ecosystems by infecting bacteria and other microorganisms, regulating their populations and recycling nutrients. When viruses kill marine microbes, they release organic material back into the environment, fueling the microbial food web. This constant viral activity influences carbon cycling and helps maintain the balance of ocean life. Scientists estimate there are approximately 1031 viruses in the ocean, making them the most abundant biological entities on Earth. Though invisible, these tiny agents shape the health and productivity of marine ecosystems in profound ways. Some corals form symbiotic relationships with algae that provide them energy. Coral reefs are built by tiny animals called coral polyps, but their survival depends heavily on a partnership with cane, microscopic algae known as zooxanthellae. These algae live inside the coral's tissues and perform photosynthesis, converting sunlight into energy. The coral polyps receive nutrients produced by the algae, which helps them grow and build the calcium carbonate skeletons that form reefs. In return, the algae benefit from a protected environment and access to the coral's waste products, which they use as nutrients. This symbiotic relationship allows corals to thrive in nutrient-poor waters where food is scarce. However, when stressed by changes in temperature or pollution, corals may expel their algae, leading to coral bleaching and threatening reef health worldwide. The ocean's sea ice covers around 7% of the surface, but plays a huge role in climate. Sea ice may only cover about 7% of the ocean's surface, but it has an outsized influence on Earth's climate system. Found mainly in polar regions, sea ice reflects sunlight back into space, helping to regulate global temperatures by keeping the planet cooler. It also provides critical habitat for polar species like seals, penguins, and polar bears. As sea ice melts due to global warming, less sunlight is reflected and more is absorbed by the darker ocean, accelerating warming in a feedback loop. Melting sea ice also impacts ocean circulation and weather patterns across the globe. Scientists monitor sea ice closely as a sensitive indicator of climate change and a key player in Earth's environmental balance. Mangroves can filter salt out of seawater to survive in coastal environments. Mangrove trees thrive in coastal areas where fresh water meets the ocean, environments that would be too salty for most plants. To survive, mangroves have evolved special adaptations to filter out salt. Their roots act as natural filters, blocking most of the salt from entering the plant. Any salt that does get through is stored in older leaves, which eventually fall off, removing the salt from the plant system. This remarkable ability allows mangroves to grow in salty, oxygen-poor soils where few other trees can survive. Mangrove forests protect coastlines from erosion, provide nursery grounds for fish, and store large amounts of carbon, making them vital to both marine ecosystems and climate regulation. Some fish can change color rapidly for camouflage or communication. Certain fish species possess the extraordinary ability to change their color and patterns quickly to blend into their surroundings or communicate with others. This rapid color change is made possible by specialized cells called chromatophores, which contain pigments that can expand or contract. The camouflage, fish like cuttlefish or flounder, adjust their coloration to match the sea floor or coral reefs, helping them avoid predators or sneak up on prey. Color changes can also serve as social signals during mating displays, territorial disputes, or to warn rivals. This dynamic form of communication and protection highlights the incredible adaptations marine life has evolved to survive in the ocean's diverse and competitive environment. The ocean's marine snow is a constant shower of organic material. From surface to deep marine snow is a continuous cascade of organic material falling from the sunlit surface waters down to the dark depths of the ocean. This snow consists of dead plankton, fecal pellets, bits of algae, and other detritus. It serves as a crucial food source for deep-sea creatures living far from sunlight. Despite its slow descent, marine snow transports vital nutrients that sustain life in the abyssal zones. This constant shower helps connect surface ecosystems with the deep ocean, forming an essential part of the ocean's carbon cycle by moving carbon from the atmosphere to the deep sea, where it can be stored for centuries or longer. Seagrass meadows are among the most carbon-rich ecosystems on the planet. Seagrass meadows, found in shallow coastal waters around the world, are among the planet's most efficient carbon sinks. These underwater grasslands capture and store large amounts of carbon in their roots and surrounding sediment, often called blue carbon. Seagrasses grow quickly and trap sediments, preventing coastal erosion and improving water clarity. They also provide vital habitats for fish, turtles, and other marine animals. The carbon stored in seagrass beds helps mitigate climate change by locking away carbon dioxide that would otherwise remain in the atmosphere. Protecting and restoring these meadows is increasingly recognized as a nature-based solution for reducing global carbon emissions. Some crabs use sea anemones as protective weapons on their claws. Certain crab species have developed a fascinating symbiotic relationship with sea anemones, which they carry on their claws as living weapons. The crab benefits from the anemone's stinging tentacles, which deter predators and competitors, while the anemone gains mobility and access to food scraps stirred up by the crab. This partnership provides the crab with an effective defense mechanism without requiring it to produce its own toxins. By waving the stinging anemones at threats, these crabs can ward off attacks, showcasing one of the ocean's many examples of clever evolutionary cooperation between species. The ocean has giant barrel sponges that can live for thousands of years. Giant barrel sponges are among the longest living animals in the ocean, with some individuals estimated to live for over 2,000 years. These large, faster-shaped sponges filter vast amounts of water daily, removing bacteria and organic particles, and playing a key role in maintaining healthy reef ecosystems. Their slow growth and impressive longevity make them natural archives of environmental changes, with layers of their tissue recording chemical and temperature shifts over centuries. Despite their ancient nature, giant barrel sponges are vulnerable to pollution, climate change, and physical damage, making their conservation important for preserving reef biodiversity. The ocean's tides also affect some animal reproductive cycles. Many marine animals time their reproductive cycles to the ocean's tides, using the regular rise and fall of water levels as environmental cues. For example, certain species of fish, crabs, and corals synchronize spawning events to coincide with high tides or specific lunar phases, ensuring larvae are carried away from predators and dispersed widely. This tidal timing increases the chances of reproductive success by matching the availability of suitable habitats and food for offspring. The relationship between tides and reproduction highlights how deeply ocean rhythms influence marine life, linking biological cycles to the gravitational forces of the moon and sun. Certain fish use electric fields to hunt or communicate. Some fish have evolved the remarkable ability to produce and detect electric fields, which they use to navigate, communicate, and hunt in dark or shallow, murky waters. Electric eels, for example, generate powerful electric shocks to stun prey or defend themselves. Other species, like elephantfish and knifefish, emit weak electric signals to locate food and communicate with others of their kind. This electric sense acts like a biological radar, helping fish see their environment through electric impulses when visibility is limited. It's an extraordinary adaptation that showcases the ocean's diverse ways of sensing the world. The ocean contains naturally occurring oil seeps that support unique communities beneath the ocean's surface. Natural oil seeps release hydrocarbons slowly into the water. These seeps create unique ecosystems where specialized bacteria break down the oil, providing energy for a variety of organisms. Communities of tuberoes, clams, and other creatures thrive around these seeps, forming habitats vastly different from typical marine environments. These ecosystems show how life can adapt to extreme conditions and utilize unusual energy sources, highlighting the ocean's incredible biological diversity and resilience. The ocean's surface layer is home to floating organisms called the mouston. The mouston refers to a community of organisms that live at or near the ocean's surface, existing right at the boundary between water and air. This includes tiny algae, bacteria, jellyfish larvae, and floating sea snails. Neuston organisms play essential roles in ocean food webs, feeding larger animals and contributing to nutrient cycling. Because they occupy this thin, dynamic layer, they are highly sensitive to environmental changes like pollution and temperature shifts. Understanding the Neuston helps scientists learn how surface ecosystems connect to global ocean health. Some marine worms build complex tube structures that support coral reefs. Certain marine worms, such as the Christmas tree worm, construct intricate calcium carbonate tubes embedded within coral reefs. These tubes provide shelter and protection, not just for the worms themselves, but also for other small creatures. By building these complex structures, marine worms contribute to reef complexity and biodiversity. Their presence helps stabilize the reef, creating microhabitats that support a wide variety of marine life. These tiny engineers play a surprisingly important role in maintaining the health and resilience of coral ecosystems. The ocean's waves are generated primarily by wind, but also by earthquakes and landslides. Ocean waves are most commonly created by wind blowing across the water's surface, transferring energy and generating waves that can travel thousands of kilometers. However, some waves have more dramatic origins. Underwater earthquakes and landslides can trigger tsunamis, massive, powerful waves capable of traveling at jet speeds and causing widespread destruction upon reaching shore. While wind waves shape everyday coastal environments and marine navigation, tsunamis are reminders of the ocean's dynamic and sometimes violent nature. Certain jellyfish swarms can stretch for miles, impacting local ecosystems. Some species of jellyfish are known to form massive swarms that can stretch for miles across the ocean surface. These swarms, often called blooms, can dramatically affect local ecosystems by competing with fish for food, clogging fishing nets, and sometimes even disrupting power plant cooling systems. Jellyfish blooms can result from factors like water temperature changes, overfishing of predators, and nutrient pollution. Their vast numbers can unbalance marine food webs, but they are also natural parts of ocean dynamics, reminding us of the delicate balance within marine environments. The ocean's largest fish is the whale shark, which is a gentle filter feeder. The whale shark holds the title as the largest fish species on Earth, growing up to 12 meters, about 40 feet or more. Despite their enormous size, whale sharks are gentle giants that feed primarily by filtering tiny plankton, fish eggs, and small fish from the water. They swim slowly with their massive mouths open wide, sieving food through specialized gill rakers. Found in tropical and warm oceans worldwide, whale sharks are slow-moving and pose no threat to humans. Their sheer size, combined with their peaceful nature, makes them one of the ocean's most fascinating creatures. Some marine birds rely on ocean currents to travel vast distances with minimal effort. Many seabirds take advantage of powerful ocean currents and wind patterns to travel thousands of kilometers during migration. Or foraging trips. Species like albatrosses and petrels use dynamic soaring, a technique that exploits the wind gradients above waves, allowing them to glide effortlessly over vast stretches of ocean. This energy-efficient travel enables them to cover huge distances without expending much energy. By harnessing ocean currents and winds, these birds link distant parts of the marine ecosystem, playing essential roles in nutrient transport and ecosystem connectivity. The ocean's water cycle plays a major role in global rainfall patterns. The ocean is the central driver of the Earth's water cycle, continuously evaporating vast amounts of water that later fall as rain or snow over land and sea. This evaporation fuels weather systems and influences global climate patterns such as monsoons and hurricanes. Warm ocean waters provide the moisture necessary for storms, and the movement of ocean currents helps distribute this moisture around the planet. Changes in ocean temperatures can therefore directly impact rainfall distribution, droughts and floods, affecting ecosystems and human societies worldwide. Some sea slugs can incorporate chloroplasts from algae into their own cells. Certain species of sea slugs exhibit a remarkable ability to steal chloroplasts, the photosynthetic machinery from the algae they algae, eat and incorporate them into their own cells. This process, called kleptoplasty, allows the slugs to perform photosynthesis and generate energy from sunlight, similar to plants. These sea slugs can maintain the stolen chloroplasts for weeks or months, effectively becoming solar-powered animals. This adaptation blurs the lines between plant and animal functions and shows how evolution can lead to surprising survival strategies in the ocean's complex ecosystems. The ocean's coral skeletons record historical climate data like tree rings. Coral skeletons grow in layers, much like the rings of a tree, and each layer records information about the ocean's temperature, chemistry, and nutrient levels at the time it was formed. Scientists study these layers to reconstruct past climate conditions and understand how the ocean has changed over centuries or even millennia. By analyzing coral cores, researchers can track phenomena like El Niño events, ocean acidification, and long-term warming trends. This natural archive provides valuable insights into climate history and helps predict future changes, making corals important not only for marine life, but also for climate science. Some fish use sonic blasts to communicate or deter predators. Certain species of fish produce powerful sonic blasts by rapidly contracting muscles near their swim bladders. These sounds serve multiple purposes, such as attracting mates, communicating with other fish, or scaring off potential predators. For example, the oyster toadfish emits a distinctive boat whistle sound to establish territory and court females. These sonic signals can travel long distances underwater, overcoming the challenges of visibility in murky or dark environments. This acoustic behavior highlights the diverse ways marine animals have evolved to survive and interact in their complex habitats. Ocean eddies can trap nutrients and support localized marine productivity. Ocean eddies are swirling masses of water that can span tens to hundreds of kilometers and last for weeks or months. These rotating currents trap nutrients from the deep ocean and concentrate them near the surface, creating hotspots of marine productivity. Such nutrient-rich zones support the growth of phytoplankton, which forms the base of the marine food chain. Fish, seabirds, and marine mammals often gather around these eddies to feed, making them critical ecological features. By influencing nutrient distribution and ecosystem dynamics, eddies play an important role in maintaining the health of ocean life. Some crustaceans practice complex mating rituals, and parental care crustaceans, like certain species of crabs and shrimp, engage in elaborate mating behaviors, including courtship dances, displays of bright colors, and even the construction of nests or burrows to attract mates. After fertilization, many crustaceans exhibit parental care by guarding their eggs, training them, and carrying larvae until they are ready to survive independently. This level of care increases the survival rate of offspring in a challenging environment. Such behaviors reveal the complexity of life strategies in marine invertebrates, going beyond simple reproduction to include nurturing and protection. The ocean's hydrothermal vents emit chemicals that support entire ecosystems without sunlight. Hydrothermal vents are openings in the sea floor where superheated, mineral-rich water gushes into the ocean. These vents create unique ecosystems that thrive without sunlight by relying on chemosynthesis, a process where bacteria convert vent chemicals like hydrogen sulfide into energy. These bacteria form the base of food webs supporting a variety of specialized creatures, such as giant tubeworms, clams, and shrimp. Hydrothermal vent communities challenge traditional views of life by demonstrating that ecosystems can flourish in extreme, dark environments using chemical energy instead of sunlight. The ocean's salt water is heavier than fresh water, causing layering in some areas. Salt water is denser than fresh water due to its dissolved salts, which means it weighs more per unit volume. This difference in density causes layering in certain ocean regions where saltier, heavier water sinks below fresher, lighter water. This stratification affects ocean circulation, nutrient mixing, and the distribution of marine life. For example, areas where fresh water from rivers meets salty ocean water often form distinct layers that influence the growth of plankton and the behavior of fish. Understanding these layers is important for studying marine ecosystems and how they respond to environmental changes. Some deep-sea fish have transparent heads to help them see prey above. A few species of deep-sea fish, such as the barrel-eye fish, have evolved transparent heads that allow them to look upward while protecting their eyes. This unusual adaptation helps them spot prey silhouetted against the faint light from above in the dark depths. Their tubular eyes can rotate within their transparent domes, giving them a wide field of vision. This specialized anatomy is an excellent example of how life adapts to extreme environments where light is scarce, enabling these fish to hunt efficiently in the deep ocean's perpetual darkness. The ocean's plankton population is highly sensitive to temperature changes. Plankton, microscopic organisms that drift near the ocean's surface, are extremely sensitive to changes in water temperature. Even slight warming can affect their growth, reproduction, and distribution. Since plankton forms the foundation of the marine food web, temperature-driven shifts can ripple through ecosystems, impacting fish populations, seabirds, and marine mammals. Seasonal plankton blooms depend on a delicate balance of light and temperature, so rising ocean temperatures caused by climate change threaten to disrupt these vital cycles, with consequences for biodiversity and fisheries worldwide. Many marine organisms use bioluminescence to communicate in the dark. Bioluminescence, the ability to produce light through chemical reactions, is widespread in the ocean, especially among creatures living in deep or murky waters. Marine organisms use this glowing ability for various purposes, including attracting mates, luring prey, deterring predators, and signaling danger. For example, some squid produce flashing lights to confuse attackers, while certain jellyfish emit a steady glow to blend in with faint light from above. This natural light show reveals how life in the ocean has evolved to communicate and survive in environments with little or no sunlight. The ocean's surface microlayer is a unique habitat for specialized microorganisms. The surface microlayer of the ocean is a thin, invisible boundary between the atmosphere and the water below, just a few millimeters thick. Despite its tiny size, this layer hosts a diverse community of microorganisms adapted to the unique chemical and physical conditions found there. These microbes play important roles in processes like gas exchange, nutrient cycling, and even the formation of clouds. Because the microlayer interacts directly with the air, it is also sensitive to pollution and climate change, making it a critical but often overlooked component of the ocean's ecosystem. Some marine algae can produce biofuels, offering sustainable energy potential. Marine algae, including certain species of seaweed and microalgae, are promising sources of biofuels that could help reduce dependence on fossil fuels. These algae grow quickly and efficiently convert sunlight and carbon dioxide into biomass, which can then be processed into bioethanol, biodiesel, or biogas. Unlike land-based crops, marine algae do not require fresh water or farmland, making them a sustainable option that does not compete with food production. Research is ongoing to improve algae biofuel production and reduce costs, potentially transforming ocean plants into a vital renewable energy source for the future. The ocean's dead zones are growing due to pollution and climate change. Dead zones are areas in the ocean where oxygen levels are so low that most marine life cannot survive. These zones have been increasing worldwide, largely due to nutrient pollution from fertilizers and sewage that trigger massive algae booms. When the algae die and decompose, oxygen is consumed, creating hypoxic conditions. Climate change worsens the problem by warming water and reducing oxygen solubility. Dead zones threaten fisheries, disrupt ecosystems, and reduce biodiversity. Understanding and addressing the causes of dead zones is essential to protect marine environments and human livelihoods that depend on healthy oceans. Certain fish can survive in both saltwater and freshwater. Like salmon, some fish species known as anadromous fish can live in both saltwater and freshwater during different stages of their lives. Salmon are a well-known example. They hatch in freshwater rivers, migrate to the ocean to grow and mature, then return to their birthplace to spawn. These fish have special physiological adaptations that allow them to regulate their internal salt balance despite changing environments. This remarkable ability helps them exploit different habitats and resources, but also exposes them to threats in both freshwater and marine ecosystems, including pollution, habitat loss, and overfishing. The ocean contains underwater canyons deeper than the Grand Canyon. Beneath the ocean's surface lie deep underwater canyons carved by rivers, sediment flows, and tectonic activity. Some of these canyons, like the Monterey Canyon off California, are deeper and longer than the Grand Canyon. These submarine valleys provide unique habitats for marine life, funnel nutrients and sediments from the land to the deep sea, and influence ocean currents. Their steep walls and complex topography make them important biodiversity hotspots, but they remain largely unexplored due to their depth and inaccessibility. Some sea turtles use the Earth's magnetic field to navigate thousands of miles. Sea turtles are incredible navigators, traveling thousands of miles across the oceans to return to their natal beaches to lay eggs. Scientists have discovered that they use Earth's magnetic field as a natural GPS system. Turtles can detect subtle variations in the magnetic field's intensity and inclination angle, which helps them determine their location and direction. This magnetic sense guides their long-distance migrations, even across vast and featureless ocean expanses, ensuring they find the right nesting sites year after year, despite the challenges of open water travel. The ocean's nutrient cycles are driven by upwelling of deep, cold waters. Upwelling is a process where deep, cold, nutrient-rich waters rise to the ocean's surface. This movement brings essential nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus that support the growth of phytoplankton, the base of the marine food web. Upwelling zones such as off the coasts of California and Peru are some of the most productive fisheries in the world because of this nutrient supply. These cycles play a crucial role in ocean ecology, supporting diverse marine life and impacting global carbon cycling by promoting photosynthesis in surface waters. Ocean acidification can affect fish behavior and predator avoidance. As the ocean absorbs more carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, it becomes more acidic. This change in water chemistry can disrupt the sensory abilities of fish, affecting how they detect predators and navigate their environment. Studies have shown that some fish become less cautious and more vulnerable to predators in more acidic waters. These behavioral changes can have cascading effects on marine ecosystems, altering predator-prey relationships and potentially impacting fish populations and fisheries important to human communities. Some marine species can live for over 200 years, like the Greenland shark. The Greenland shark is one of the longest living vertebrates on Earth, with lifespans estimated to exceed 200 years. These slow-growing sharks inhabit the cold, deep waters of the North Atlantic and Arctic Oceans. Their longevity is linked to their slow metabolism and cold environment. Studying such long-lived species helps scientists understand aging processes and the impacts of environmental changes on marine life over centuries. The ocean surface reflects about 6% of incoming solar radiation, influencing climate The ocean surface reflects a portion of the sun's energy back into space, known as albedo. On average, about 6% of incoming solar radiation is reflected by the ocean's surface, depending on factors like wave conditions and sunlight angle. This reflection influences Earth's energy balance and climate. Changes in ocean surface conditions, such as melting sea ice or increased cloud cover, can alter reflectivity and thus impact global temperature regulation. Certain marine bacteria can break down plastic, offering hope for pollution. Cleanup plastic pollution is a growing problem in the oceans, but some marine bacteria have shown the ability to break down plastic materials. These bacteria produce enzymes that degrade plastics like PET into smaller, less harmful components. While this natural biodegradation is slow and not yet a complete solution, understanding and harnessing these bacteria may lead to new biotechnologies to reduce plastic waste and mitigate pollution in marine environments. As our voyage beneath the waves comes to a close, let the quiet vastness of the ocean settle softly in your mind. Remember, this immense, life-filled world continues its slow dance beneath the surface, full of mysteries we have yet to uncover. May the rhythm of the tides and the whisper of the currents lull you into a deep, restful sleep. Thank you for joining me on this calming exploration of the ocean's wonders. If you enjoyed this journey, please consider liking and subscribing to the Sleepy Science channel, where curiosity meets calm every night. Sleep well, stay curious, and until next time, let the ocean's gentle embrace carry you peacefully through the night.